Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Good Love Podcast, a Good Love project production with your friendly neighborhood sex geek and good lover, Katrina Boots Rainsong. Here at the GLP, we strive for informed, enthusiastic consent, so this is your content warning. The Good Love Podcast is a sex and relationship education podcast directed to adult listeners. We offer playful, powerful, and positive education on sexuality, pleasure, kink, sexual health and wellness, and a slew of other grown and sexy topics. If you find any of these topics objectionable, you're welcome to skip an episode or even the whole show. If you're under 18, we recommend heading over to scarletine.com for all youth-focused sex ed needs. Now, if you're an enthusiastic yes, get comfy and enjoy the show. And we're back.
Hello.
Those are some good products and services, I bet.
Yeah, they were awesome products and services. In fact, I think I have one of the products in right here. Is this one of your products?
That is one of my products. Yes.
Does this product support this podcast?
That product definitely supports this podcast. It absolutely does. And it was debuted at Southwest Decadence, actually.
So for our listeners, for those of us not watching the YouTube video, I am currently holding a dusty pink human-sized cat ball that's about as big as my head, and it has a long tailpiece that I like to play with. It's topped with a pink satin bow and a little jingly bell, which you'll hear in the background, as well as some pretty little frills and ribbons. And this is commonly used for what, my dear?
For pet play, most specifically for kid play. What's the ball made out of, babe?
The ball is made out of a beautiful pink yarn.
I think it's a super soft, plush yarn.
It's like squishy, and the whole ball is like dense but squishy, and I can hug it and sleep with it and throw it up and catch it, and it's delightful.
Yay!
Highly recommend for all of your kitten play needs.
Mm-hmm.
These can be found at
wickedsibessentials.com. That's wicked sib, like sibling, essentials.com. I brought one to Southwest Decadence. They had, that was another highlight that I should have talked about. So they had like a pet play mosh, a puppy mosh area. So it's like just open, or like one of the rooms had like open floor with mats on it, and you can go and just be a little kitty or a puppy. There was a piggy there. And that was my first pet play mosh. And unfortunately, I was very, very late to it. So there wasn't very many people to play with by the time I got there. But I was there and I was playing with my kitty ball. My big sister, Brooklyn, was the MC for the show and dinner. And so, of course, she like surprised me and made me stand in front of the entire congregation and talk about kitty ball and Wicked Sib because she's amazing and I love her. So then later people were coming by like, are you the one that makes the kitty balls? I'm like, yeah, this is it. You want to see it, touch it, hold it, play with it? So yay. I feel like the launch is official now. It's been brought out into the world. I got some footage of me and another kitty playing with it that I'm going to post. So yeah. Yes.
I love that. The official debut and free advertising of the kitty ball. They're so soft. I just love how soft they are, but also like they're dense and they're durable, because I have played pretty hard with this thing and I was so sure I would unravel it. In fact, I kept it safe on the shelf for probably a year before I really played with it, because I was like, I'm going to tear it apart. I don't know. But I didn't need to do that at all. Turns out it's extremely strong, and I've denied myself for no reason.
And that was one of my first ones, so I feel like they've gotten a little better over time.
I agree. I've seen the pictures of because this was like the third one you have ever met. The new ones are like, even better.
I do feel like your bow is one of the best bows I've ever made, though. Damn, I'm really proud of that bow. So good.
It's perfect. I thought you bought this bow. You made this bow?
Yeah, I made it.
Wow.
Yep.
I literally thought you bought it and put it on here. So what
Nope.
an amazing crafter you are.
Everything is handmade except for the bells because I don't do metalwork. But yeah, no, it's fully handmade, even the bows.
I love that the reason that it's not handmade is because you don't do metalwork. That's the only reason. If you had the facilities to do metalwork, you would be in the garage just pounding away, making little bells.
I mean, who doesn't love like a hot non-binary blacksmith? Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well,
I just got tingly. Moving on.
Yeah. Let's talk about we got a lot. We know what happens. We know why people go to the conferences. So how should we prepare for our trip? And what should we know if it's our very first time?
As I mentioned, I've never been to any of the camp out ones, so I'm only going to speak to the hotel conference type ones because that is where my experience is. You're going to go to your first leather or kink or even sex positive conference because there's plenty of sex pos conferences out there that are not specifically leather and kink, although you will likely see leather and kink there. First thing, of course, you want to do your research, go to the website, see like where it is, who's running it, the day, like budget. You are going to want to budget because it's not just about paying for your ticket, but are you going to get a room at the host hotel? Or are you going to get if you're from out of town or even, from on the other side of the city, because there are plenty of locals here that stayed at the host hotel so that they're not driving, each morning, or, you are staying up for play parties late into the evening and then trying to drive back out to make it to a class at 10 a.m. Are you going to stay at the host hotel? Or is there somewhere else that you can stay that's nearby, whether that's getting an Airbnb, staying with friends, what have you? I got lucky that the Southwest Decadence was just like 5 minutes up from my house. So I just went home.
Yeah.
I just went home. I got lucky. I did almost stay Saturday night because I was staying for the play party. But then I remembered that I didn't bring enough meds with me. So I was like, no, I'll just go home. Because if there's one other thing that I'm consistent on, generally speaking, it's my medication. So you're going to be budgeting, your stay, the tickets. Are you going to go for just a single day? Honestly, if it's your first time going to a conference, consider just getting a day pass. Especially if you know that you are someone who might get overwhelmed easily, or you're trying to save money, consider getting just a day pass. Most conferences and events will have a single day pass. Are you going to get a single day pass, or are you going to get like a full weekender? If there's other special things like parties or whatnot that cost extra, these are all things you have to think about, plus your food, plus there's going to be a vending area. Are you going to let yourself shop? Because you're going to go in and you're going to see all these things and you're going to want the things. So definitely give yourself a cap on that. Okay, I'm allowed to spend X amount of money. I was very good. I did not go crazy in vending. I decided to put my money towards the raffle and I won. I won a dress. I run this like red velvet, or not velvet, Jesus. It's like red vinyl dress, which I haven't tried on yet, but it is size large, so it should be okay. I will post pictures of me in the winning dress later. Actually, I should take it to Vegas with me. Yeah.
You should absolutely take it to Vegas with you. Where can our listeners see this gorgeous red dress?
That gorgeous red dress you'll definitely be able to see on any of my socials. So Good Love Project on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, not on Instagram, because I'm in Instagram jail at the moment. So to see it on Instagram, you're going to have to go to Team Good Love. But yeah, So that is where that winning dress picture will show up at some point this weekend. So research, budget, look at your, the schedule. I, for one, especially if it's a really big conference, like this one was a little bit smaller. So there were 3 classrooms running workshops. So you only had to choose between like 3 classes for each time slot. But some events, there might be a whole lot more. So, go through and figure out like which classes you're definitely going to want to take. Which ones are you interested in, but you're kind of okay with missing, because there may be days where you want to sleep in or you need to take a break. Other things to know for your first kink conference, regardless of whether you're going just for a one day or if you're doing the whole weekend, just basic etiquette, obviously. Yes, it's a sex positive space. Yes, it's a kinky space. Sex positive does not, and kinky does not equate to consent. So keep your hands to yourself. Don't touch people. Don't touch their toys, their mobility items. Keep your hands to yourself. It's kindergarten rules. Stay hydrated. Very, very much stay hydrated. Because even if you're just sitting in a room, just taking classes and taking notes all day, that is a lot more energy output than most people realize. Carry your water bottle with you. Most places usually also have like water stations and whatnot around, but have your water with you. Have snacks on hand. Some conventions may have hospitality of some kind where they have like a room that is like kind of like a relaxed room, and that'll also have like snacks and whatnot. And you're thinking about packing, think about, are you going to go to any of the play spaces? What items do you want to bring for those play spaces? How do you want to dress? It's totally acceptable to just be comfy all weekend. Like, don't feel like pressured, especially if you don't own a lot of leather or kinky or fetishy clothes. Don't feel pressured to go out and have a shopping montage a la Sex and the City and get a bunch of
Unless
stuff.
If you've got the room in your budget, go for it. But you definitely don't have to.
Yeah. If you have the room in your budget and your closet, sure.
Don't look over here.
Go crazy and go to Wicked Sib Essentials so you can get some t-shirts while you're at it. Anyway, so yeah, like you can be comfy, but obviously this is a space where people love to get dressed up. If there's a formal event during this time, which often, especially with like leather events, there usually is some kind of formal event. Usually there's like a formal dinner, which may include some entertainment, or if there is a pageant and then like title contest, that may happen during that time, or a keynote speaker of some kind. It's fantastic to get to be dressed up formal, and leather formal is like a whole other world. Oh God, the first time I saw someone wearing a pair of like full leather opera gloves, I was just like, oh my God, I want stunning. Yes. Yeah. So it's, and it's not like we get to dress like this every single day, unless you make kink your job, of course. Then, maybe you get to wear all your favorites every day, but most of us don't get to. So it's nice to have that time where you can be the adult version of that kid that only wears Halloween costumes. That's me. I'm that kid.
That's me.
Yeah. I'm going to wear my dinosaur onesie and my boots every day.
There's a picture of me at preschool with all the other children, and I am in a full body Dalmatian costume, like footy costume. Oh, and the first picture was just me, and it's like, oh, you think it's Halloween. And then you see the rest of the class, and it was just me at school.
I'm going to need to see that picture. So cute.
I will definitely send it to you.
That is so stinking cute. Yeah.
I love it. I love to dress up. I just want to decorate my avatar. And it sounds like this convention is a beautiful opportunity to show off all the kitty ears and tails that I have. So I want to go.
Absolutely. Yes. These kind of conventions are a great place to show off your gear as well as to pick up more gear.
Love that. All right. So, for those who don't know, Katrina and I are both spoony kinksters, meaning that we utilize the spoon system and have different needs than maybe the average able-bodied kinkster might have. So, Kat, what are your special tips and considerations for those of us on that spoony life?
Okay, so for those of us who are spoonies, who live with chronic fatigue, chronic pain, disability, chronic illness, some tips. Obviously, if you use mobility aid, even if you use it every day, obviously you're going to bring it. If you're someone like, say, me and Charlie as well, we're both ambulatory mobility aid users. So even on, a day that I'm like feeling good, I still make sure to bring my items. So have your items. If you're staying at the hotel, make sure that you have packed your meds, your ice bags, your heating pads, your massage balls, perhaps whatever other things that you use. If you're just coming in for the day, or like in my case, I wasn't staying at the hotel, so I made sure to have stuff with me in my bag. And if the place has bag check, which some places will be able to do that for you, you might be able to have them hold on to that. And if not, bring your bag around, but you just want to be prepared. I also set things up that I didn't have to drive for the weekend. So I was either getting a lift or having my partner give me a ride, or getting a ride with other people, so I wouldn't have to worry about being tired, especially in the evening, and trying to drive home. So think about that. Generally speaking, if I can be at the host hotel, that is my preference. So that, and I try to get a room as close to the conference center as possible if it's available. First floor, ask for your needs from the hotel, ask for your needs, ask for accommodations. Last November, I was at a hotel event, and it was like a big resort. So big, sprawling campus like area. When I checked into my room, I was like, oh my God, I will die. Like walking this far uphill.
No.
Like,
no.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was like, I will die. But I was able to ask for someone to get me in like a golf cart. So
nice.
Yeah. So I was able to call from my room, like, hey, I would like a golf cart to come get me and bring me to the front at, X time. So I was able to save my energy that way, because I literally would have been wrecked making
that
not hike. Not possible.
I'm glad it was available for you to be able to, like, you were in a position that could be on a wheeled, motorized like vehicle. Something to note is sometimes they maybe don't have golf carts, or your hotel room might be internal but still be very far away from the convention center. So in those cases, be sure, and even if you've already checked in, you can go to the front desk and say, I didn't realize it was going to be this far. I'm going to need like an accommodation. If they have it, they'll try to offer it for you. But if you are the type of individual that uses mobility aids that can be pushed, you can also ask to be pushed. You can ask for a concierge to come and get you and like push your manual wheelchair if that's what you have.
Yep. Yeah. And I mean, my wheelchair is manual, so that's often what I ask for things like strictly at the airport, the sky caps help me. So think about your mobility, especially when you're setting up. Check, if you can, check ahead with the host hotel and or the organizers, depending on what kind of, what the venue space is, and ask them about the venue's accessibility. Even if it's just like a 1-day event, I have reached out to the organizer, like, hey, I'm really excited to go for this. I just need to know, is this space, an accessible space, and let them know what and make sure, like you tell them what they mean by that, because a lot of people, I think organizers are getting better about this a little, like slowly but surely. If you say, is this accessible? They might just think like, does it have a wheelchair ramp? Or does it have accessible parking? And that's it. They may not be thinking about a step that's on the interior where the accessible bathrooms are. Do they have ASL interpreters? One nice thing I'm starting to see a lot more of is like during the registration process online is areas for you to put what your accommodation and accessibility needs are. So that's nice. And I was very happy to see ASL interpreters at Southwest. So that was very good. Pace yourself. You're definitely going to want to pace yourself at these kind of events. And that goes for, again, any kind of convention or conference, regardless of what the topic is. But I would almost say especially so for something like this, because, especially if you're going to be active in demos, if you're going to be actively practicing anything, like I took a whip class this weekend. And so, practicing my swing, my arm definitely got tired. My practice bottom was so super sweet and like offered to massage my arm, afterwards. And she was in medical, so like she knew all the muscle points and stuff. So it's like, oh, yay. So, but
love that.
Yeah. Put in time for rest, time for self-care. And sometimes that may just look like finding the chill space if the event has that, and just tapping out for a little bit. Maybe deciding if there's multiple parties, maybe deciding like which one or two you're going to go to, instead of just trying to go to all of them until you wear out, and then that's it. So like Friday, I didn't go to the Friday night party because I knew I really wanted to go to the Saturday one. So, I went home early that first night. Pace yourself. If you have a buddy or a few buddies in the community that are going to be at that event, people that maybe ask them, unless you have someone like specific going with you. If you have a buddy that can go with you and you can do buddy system through most of the stuff, that's always fantastic. Because they can check on you, help you get things. But if you don't have someone, if you're going like alone, if there's people that are going to be there that and that you trust, maybe asking them like ahead of time, like, hey, can you help keep an eye on me or what have you? Of course, I had Leather family there, so that we all keep an eye out on each other. But don't be afraid to ask for support that you need. Always.
I want to touch on one of the things you said. I think it was really good. It was a really good point, because just because you buy a full weekend pass or a full day pass does not mean you have to do every single thing for every minute of the time that you're there. Pick what's the most important and what's the most exciting. Be prepared that you're gonna probably miss something. Like it's not possible not to. Every convention you go to, things are literally going on at the same time. So you will miss things. You will miss parts of parties. You will miss parts of class. But trust that the experience that you're going to have there is still wonderful. It's still going to be very exciting and fun, and you're going to make friends. But it's fine if you go to classes one day and a party the next. If you go to all parties, if you go to all classes, if you don't do a mix and match, or even if you do, it's totally okay. Just prepare yourself to not do every single thing. You don't have to ride all the rides at Disneyland. Take your space.
Absolutely. Yeah. And also be prepared for the return to normalcy. Con drop is a very well-known and common phenomenon for anyone, regardless of whether you are considered able-bodied or you're disabled, you're in this little bubble. You've got a lot of stuff happening. It's very intense. It's exciting. There may also have been like feelings that came up sometimes, both like good and I don't want to say good, both pleasurable and challenging feelings that may have come up. So there's going to be things to process. So if you can, try to schedule time to decompress when you get back to your day-to-day.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Con drop is definitely the thing. This your brain gets real happy being surrounded by like-minded people for a long time, and that's part of it. There's the physical aspect that's really draining, and speaking of the physical, mask. Highly recommend masking. Con crud has always been a thing. It's just this little sickness you tend to pick up, and it's kind of amorphous, but you touch and talk to a lot of people over a very short period of time, even before the big C, we had this. So still very much consider masking at conventions. And all the same stuff, keeping your hands really clean, but keep that in mind, especially if you do live with other immunocompromised folks and you are coming home after a con, you want to be aware of the fact that you might be bringing something home. So if you have the resources to give yourself an extra day or two to really recoup away from others, or if you're just having that in mind when you come home and having the appropriate protocols for your lifestyle. So
yes, yeah, absolutely.
Well, this was extremely enlightening.
Yay! That's what we were going for here. That's what we go for here at Good Love Project, is enlightening. So, where can my listeners find you and the things that you do? Plug your pluggables.
My pluggables include Charlie Sharp Official on all platforms: Instagram, Cash App, Venmo, TikTok. Actually, my TikTok was deleted, so that one's official Charlie Sharp. Got to keep you on your toes. Mix it up. I do all sorts of things. Currently, the flavor of the week is a boa sale that I am running. I sell organza boas that are cruelty-free, lightweight, beautiful, and easy to travel with. The boas are most commonly used for burlesque performers, but anyone who desires a beautiful prop can have them. They are accessible, and I have a video up on my page right now with lots of tips on how you can use your boa if you are a spoonie like us. And I'm running a sale, which you can find at boasbycharlie.square.site. I'm also Boas by Charlie on Instagram.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for coming on for this episode. Y'all will be hearing Charlie's voice more in the future as she helps me get through some of my episodes, particularly when I get really busy. So look forward to that because she has a lovely, lovely voice. And next week, you'll get to hear all about my adventures in Vegas with the Kinkback collab and the Ohm Goddesses. I'm very, very excited for this.
Ooh, where's those? I can't wait to hear all about it.
Yeah.
We'll see if we get some pictures this time because
I know
you were very bad, Daddy. You took no pictures.
I know. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was bad about taking pictures this weekend. Yeah, I will get pictures in Vegas, and also right after I get back from Vegas will be the launch of Sex Geek Librarian series on YouTube. And they'll probably show up on the podcast here a little bit too, where I talk about different sex ed books, particularly antique and vintage sex education books, because that's the kind of nerd that I am. And Bad Bitch BDSM reviews will be coming up very soon as well, probably by the end of the month. So thanks for listening, everybody. And to my good lovers, keep on good loving.